My friend PP just became a citizen a couple of months ago.
You have a friend PP?
Ping pong.
That's not yeah.
It's not getting
That's not me better, yeah.
Ping pong.
My friend PP.
Oh yeah.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
We are rolling. Hey, all right. Salute, everybody. I know we did this already, but
Yeah,
we
salute.
Reishin, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a while. The rest of us have been doing this while you were busy. I don't know. You've been hard to get on the calendar.
I'm hard to find.
You're hard to. But you've been moving.
I move home. Been busy at work. I've been traveling a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll try to. We got to catch up. Last time you two were here together, we did the
easy topic of immigration.
The immigration,
which is an easy topic.
The immigration episode, and now you're getting ready to seal the deal this year.
Yeah, probably end of the year. Yeah.
End of the year, they're gonna.
Yeah. Everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Should be a easy process.
Is it?
Yeah.
I actually don't know what the process is. Do you know what the process is? You were born here.
Yeah.
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 What do you have to do? To, like now that you've been here and you've got permanent residence and everything, like to actually become a citizen.
I think you have to get naturalized. That's the first process. I've been an immigrant before. I've got like a few other nationalities. So normally you have to get nationalized and then go through
what does that mean?
It means you become a citizen. So you basically are then recognized by the country that you're now a citizen of the country.
But how do you do that?
That's what he's asking. Like,
yeah. So I guess really you have to fill out this application form.
So you're planning on doing it this year, but you don't really know what the process is.
It's just an application form you fill out, and you have to qualify for it.
You don't have to like name all the presidents or anything.
Well, you have to take a test. There's the civics test you have to take, which is easy to take. It's kind of fun to learn. So yeah, okay. I passed it before, so there's no issue.
I wonder if any random American citizen could pass it.
You should be able to pass it. It's like the three branches of government.
Have you seen some of these guy on the street recordings lately? Where
it's an easy civics test. You can pass that.
Pretty dumb.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but so should be able to pass it.
Well, not in our circle, so we should all be.
I mean, we don't hang out with the dummies, but there's a lot of them.
It's like talking about the government and some stuff with the history and stuff. And I like history, so there's like a book you can use to like study for it. But like I've taken the test, like the practice test. You can pass it without actually studying for it.
All right. Well, we'll be in your corner. We'll be rooting for you.
Yeah, then you take the test, and then if you pass the test, then you fill out the application form, and you kind of go through the process.
Then there's a ceremony.
There's a ceremony. You got to go.
Show up for your ceremony.
You can. You're welcome to. Yes.
Clap and cheer and.
Yeah, you're supposed to. With the flag and all the whole thing, and then you.
Flag.
Yeah, there's gonna be a flag.
Still use that thing? I thought we didn't. I thought the flag was like taboo now.
This is still Texas. Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. Trevor's giving me the look.
Okay, so on that. Wait, I have to.
What else?
I do have to give you one trivia question.
One trivia question.
What was the first movie to be shown in the White House?
Blazing Saddles. And it was when Obama was in.
I'm going to guess it was not Blazing Saddles. The first movie to be shown in the White House. To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Yes, I remember the name of it. It's Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation, yeah.
Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, interesting.
Under Woodrow Wilson.
You know, he's a very controversial figure these days. Woodrow Wilson.
Woody?
Yeah, I mean, Woody.
He was a racist to beat the band.
Well, he was always regarded as among in the top 5 presidents for a long time. Oh yeah. I mean, even Nixon liked him, and they were on opposite sides of the fence. And
he's why we are taxes.
And now it's funny. It's kind of ironic because now neither side likes him. So the left turned on him when they discovered, or somebody brought to light that he
had a preference.
And but the right doesn't like him either because he symbolizes like progressivism and reform and things like that. So he's kind of like a former president.
Wasn't he Social Security?
What?
Was he Social Security?
No, that was
FDR.
FDR.
You're going to have to study a little harder.
Yeah.
Well, that was not the test.
All right, so
okay, sorry.
So
didn't mean to derail the conversation with trivia. Birth of a Nation.
That's okay.
And he was absolutely in agreement with everything that was portrayed in that movie. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, that's another episode.
Didn't he dress like Colonel Sanders a lot?
Woodrow Wilson?
Yeah, he always wore a white suit, kind of that thin black tie.
Did he?
I don't know. Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe that's going to be on your test.
All right.
All right.
Better
so
or
what are we
worse
doing?
game. We're going to play the better or worse game.
I've never played this game.
You have not played.
Me neither.
So neither one of you has played this game.
Excited. Trevor, have you played?
Play what?
The better or worse game?
Only
He has-
money's involved.
He has played the better or worse game, and we're gonna pick 5 things, or we have already picked 5 things. We don't get to pick. We got 5 things that we're going to talk about that are different now from how they used to be, and you know, we're going to decide. Everybody has to vote on whether we are better off or worse off now. That we have this, the thing is like this. And the category for today is personal technology. So personal tech, and we picked out a few things, not so much, so we're not going to have a broad, wide open discussion about personal technology. We picked out 5 things that on account of personal tech are very different now from how they were certainly when I was a kid, and really even just a few years ago.
And then do I need to say, if I say, let's say, iPhones, whatever my answer could be, do I have to justify it, or can I just say worse or better?
Yeah, so it's gonna. You have to pick better or worse. You
And then
can't.
I don't have to say why.
You have to. We
Yeah,
don't
but if
care
I don't
why.
like your answer, I'm going to attack you.
You
can try.
You don't have to say why, but it'll be a
But
short.
try.
if you don't like my
say
answer,
why.
you have to attack me.
Yeah.
Come on, Reishin.
You'll have to make like 2 feet,
Code
and
word
this
Tabasco.
this mic is like it's my defense. You can try. There's like 2 feet you have to get through, but yeah,
If we argue about
I
it,
can
it
throw
does
my
make it
drink
more
on
fun.
you, man.
that could work.
But I wouldn't do that because I'd be wasting alcohol.
It's a good drink.
There's no
Yes.
janitorial service. I got to clean that shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll see what you're doing now. Do that with the questions.
All right. So what's the first question?
So,
Okay,
so the first
go.
one. Check the first one. All right.
And I've not seen these questions before. It's the first
It's
time.
not. There it is. Okay. So now you can instantly contact anybody anytime. Not anybody. Like you can't contact the president, but you know now if you want to get in touch with somebody nowadays, you can pretty much just
Who can get in touch with the president right now?
no one can.
So my answer is worse.
Worse. So are we better or worse off because
Way worse off.
we're worse off?
Yeah.
Why?
Because no one actually picks up.
Well, what about, you can text people, right? You can, if I want to know something from you right now, I can just send you a text.
I can ignore the text.
You can.
Yeah.
You can ignore it. But the point is I have a means of contacting
But
you.
also, I don't need.
I
I
did.
don't talk to you anymore because I'm texting you. All our conversations are just a couple of text messages or like worse emojis. In
Yeah, but it
response.
says contact. It doesn't say contact in any specific way.
Yes. So instant contact someone, I think we're worse off because we actually do less contacting of people.
So a lot of people would say, now you may not be old enough to remember this, but
The rotary phone.
Yes, on the wall. Well, it used to be that if you wanted to contact somebody, even just for fundamental things, right? Like just think about practical scenarios. Like, you and I are making plans for tomorrow. Or we're making plans for the weekend, and I want to call you to make sure that, or to confirm that we're doing this. So I had to call you at a time when you were at your phone, right? Like when you were home. Let's say if we were friends, I had to call you when you were home, or when someone was home, so they would answer the phone, and your mom would say, "No, Reishin's not here right now. He's out with his hoodlum friends again." Or then we had the answering machines. You could leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were like some of the people in our extended family, there was no point in leaving a message because they never listened to any of the messages, so they were never gonna reply back. So I think there's something. As much as I am somebody who I definitely have a nostalgia for how things used to be, but
The good old days.
But it is kind of nice being able to just send somebody a message, quickly contact them, about like practical things, like function.
Okay, so that's the good part, right? That's the you and me, and we all kind of like responsible and respectful. But let's be honest, most of the time you're getting contacted by scammers, you're getting contacted by people trying to sell you things, you're getting constantly bombarded by all these like fake calls. It's because they have your data and your access out there. That's the part I don't like. Tell me your phone isn't ringing off the hook.
But are we worse off because of that?
Yeah, because now I don't answer my phone. Everything goes to voicemail.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does train us to not answer if you don't
Yeah.
recognize a number. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean every call goes to voicemail. Every single call, except that's not in my call book. In my
Yeah.
everything goes to voicemail, irrespective of who it is.
And do you listen to your voicemails?
Every now and again I do. Most of the time I don't. Yeah, because I was like, yeah.
So the impact, the societal impact is that it seems convenient, but it has trained us in bad behavior.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, you better off or worse off?
I think that we're better off as a society. We talk
As a
about
society,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's all that matters. The collective,
The society, yeah,
the collective is all that
because
matters.
it's the idea is in my mind, the way I approach it is to have the option, to have the availability of the technology, and to have the option. How you choose to control yourself and how people have access to you is 100% within your own. It's in your control as to whether or not people can actually reach you. So you can set up protocols in your phone as to whether somebody can get through to you or not. My buddy Klaus calls me the queen of do not disturb. Yes, my phone is
Maybe
on.
Klaus isn't as much of your buddy as he thinks he is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Maybe that's why he complains about it.
Yeah. Could be that. Could be that. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but I think that it's to have the option to be able to use it is 100%. We're better off.
Yeah, there's also a safety thing, right? Like being able to, with your family members, being able to, if somebody is
an
in
emergency.
trouble or there's an emergency or something. Yes, thank you. I was trying to say something that didn't sound too, graphically dismal, but. To be able to call for help, to be able to check on somebody and say, "Is everything okay?" It's
nice. I agree.
It's nice. That part's nice.
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah,
It's
I agree.
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Kids as your kids get older, you want to make sure they get home where they're going to get home and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All they do is send you a little text message or something and say, "Hey, listen, home."
But I do agree that I think the downside is definitely, less. So now we have these. You have
to
these
pick a side, man.
You have to have these
Keyword.
expectations.
You just said the key word.
What?
Expectations.
Expectations.
Keyword.
Everybody expects you now. If
Keyword.
you text me and I don't answer you back right away, now it used to be like that with email, right? If you
With the 3 dots.
with it,
Sometimes what I do is I took a GIF of the 3 dots and I text that to people. They think
No, but think about it.
okay, that's brilliant. That's really good.
You could put. If you go to
I just
a
like disappear.
conference, you're just a wise ass. Just admit it, Reishin. Just admit it.
It's pretty funny.
That's,
It is funny.
I like that.
It's funny.
Try.
I
We
might
gotta
steal it. I think I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
it. I'm actually gonna.
We got to get the 3 dots.
Yeah.
It's like send the 3 dots. People just
Come on. Yeah.
okay. I'm going to come down on the side of better for this, but I do think that it does detract. Like there's definitely some downside to it, but I think as a society, being able to contact people when you need, I think that the goods outweigh the bads. Trev, what do you think?
I'm gonna say worse.
Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah.
You're not old enough to say worse, dude.
I grew up with this communication.
Exactly. So how do you know if it's better or worse?
He's a child of instant contacts.
Yes, so I'm directly raised off of that, and I can say it is a subpar form of communication that's not worth the benefits you get.
Elaborate.
Because it's void of nearly all emotion, and there's no body communication. You can't read anyone's. You don't have the benefit of looking at someone's face. I mean, we learned the problems of not being able to see someone's face in communication with COVID and all the masks that we were wearing, but this completely gets rid of all of that. And it's, as someone who has gone through high school and built relationships through text, those are always weaker, and ones that are dependent on text are always weaker. And it's, there are the pros, like, okay, sure, like it can be safer and such, but I don't think, we were fine before. We could,
Somehow we figured it out. We got it. We got it done before. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't offer any. It has benefits, but it doesn't offer any real improvements, I'd say.
Societal type of. It definitely breaks down our.
Even individually, I think it demeans. It inadvertently degrades the person you're communicating with.
Yeah. So the fact that we can instantly contact anybody anytime isn't what does all that, what you just said, but it's like, it's the slippery slope, right? It's the old slippery slope. It's the beginning. That's the same thing that allows us to contact anybody anytime is what gives us the ability to avoid real human conversation.
There we go.
And,
right there.
Yeah.
And it's another thing that draws your attention to the phone. Even though that's one of the main purposes of the phone, it's another thing that draws it.
Like that Super Bowl commercial, the one with Martin Scorsese,
No idea.
where everybody's on their phone and the aliens are overhead and they're trying to get everybody's attention. So finally they have to, because everybody's on their devices. You guys, who was that? I don't even know who that was a commercial for.
There was a Super Bowl?
Oh my!
I didn't know there was a Super Bowl till the Saturday.
Lord have mercy. Never mind.
I didn't realize you were such a football fan.
Do you want?
So how do they contact
He's a
people?
Taylor Swift fan.
So it's just the idea is that the aliens are invading the Earth and they're like hovering and there's UFOs and people are just on their personal devices.
That is kind of funny because that is what would happen.
It is absolutely, and so they're up there. They're like getting frustrated because nobody's paying attention to the fact that they're invading the Earth. So finally, they send a note down to everybody's device saying, "Hello down there," and then suddenly people look up, and Scorsese gets it on his iPad or whatever he's looking at in his limo, and he rolls down the window and he looks out and he looks up and he's like, "I told you not to take Broadway. We have these problems all the time, So it just anyway. But let me just say one more thing on that.
Yes, please.
For those that are watching this and listening,
Both people.
here is a little bit of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to Trevor talk, I was reminded when I was a little girl back in the 1800s. Back in the 1800s. We would be
after
out
the First War or after the Second War?
No, this was the Donner Party, the Survivor.
when we were out playing somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the neighborhood. When it was time to come home or when they wanted us to come home for whatever reason, my grandfather would stand out on the porch of the house. No, he wouldn't yell. He had a whistle. And he would, and we could hear that whistle, I swear, for miles. And you knew that was your signal that you drop and run.
Right. Yeah,
It makes sense when there's only 3 people that live in that community. So, like,
okay, this was New York City, my dear.
Yeah, but this is like
New York City.
Yeah, but it's the 1800s.
1800s. So like, yeah.
Right? We jumped on our horses. No,
that
isn't that a great memory?
Yeah, that is
good memory.
That's funny.
I was feeling, but yeah, exactly. Are we going to time box these things, or because
Yeah, we'll keep. Yeah. Well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next one. Are we going to? What are you, a project manager? All of a sudden?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
All right. So we also know everything about everyone. This is shorthand for the fact that now with everything that we have access to with social media and all the news feeds and everything else, it seems like we know everything.
Except it's spelled wrong.
Is it? Know everything about everyone. No, that's how we say it in Texas. Everyone.
Oh, so yeah,
Everyone.
We know everything about everyone. And so we know everything about politicians and corporate executives and celebrities. Like we know everything that everybody's doing all the time. We know what's all the behind the scenes dirt.
Also, tag on to that, you get societal bonus points for letting people know more of what's going on in your life, and taking pictures of where you're going, and what you're doing, and sharing it en masse.
Well, that's everybody, the regular citizens. But in this case, I was mostly thinking just about. Well, no, you're right. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
With
some of them.
celebrities
Some
and
people
all.
are a little bit more.
Yeah. So, and I guess the way I'm describing this kind of lets you know where I come down on it. But I sometimes wonder. So all this transparency and visibility that we have into politicians, to what the president's doing. Well, not this president because he's mostly sleeping, but what celebrities are doing behind the scenes. Are we better or worse having all that information?
Well, you're talking about celebrities, or you're talking about regular people? Because there's a big difference.
I'm talking about important people. So
Doesn't matter. It's a broad question.
yeah. So, what I mostly had in mind was, political leaders, corporate executives, celebrities, all these people who are in the public spotlight. Now we know everything about them.
But why does it just have to be political?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. He means everyone that has a LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile.
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's just what when I thought of the question, that was kind of what I had in mind. But anyway, the point is, now we have all this visibility to everybody.
If you ever want to know something about someone, you build up like a FBI kind of list, and you say Instagram information, social media information, this and
You can just about anyone.
You can and you can pull up quite quickly. I think we're better off.
Yeah,
This one I think we're better off knowing more.
Knowing more about like what's going on behind closed doors. We're better off knowing about.
I don't think you will know what's really going on behind closed until someone tells you. But then, how do you trust what they tell you? What goes on behind closed doors?
Right. Well, that's the problem.
But
right?
there's enough information out there that's relatively accurate. You can figure some stuff out about people, what they like, what they dislike. Let's say you want to go get a job somewhere, and the person interviewing you has put enough information about themselves, so you can learn about whether or not you're a good fit for that company.
Yeah,
That you wouldn't do in the past. If that's important to you.
Yeah.
If you just want a job, that it makes no difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what bothers me about this phenomenon is I think that, especially, and like I said, I mostly had people in mind like the people in the spotlight. So political leaders, corporate leaders, celebrities. I just want to watch the movie and enjoy the movie, and I don't want to have to think about whether, that particular star is a good person or a bad person, or is really secretly doing this thing that now we know about because it's been because it's been revealed in social media, or even some of the things that happen in politics. It seems like sometimes there's too many things to have an opinion about. Like, what I really want to know is, what's the policy decision? What action are you taking? Why are you taking it? But to know, like, all the dirt, like, behind it, I think sometimes just gives people, if you think about it like this, if you've ever been in a company leadership position, which we all have, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens that gets talked about in the conference room that you don't necessarily, everybody doesn't need to know.
Agreed.
And
agreed. Yeah. But those are different things, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at you watch a movie and there's a whole background of loud noise coming from, the actress or the actor, something about the director, you can ignore it.
You can.
You should ignore it.
Yeah.
And just watch the movie, or don't watch it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the other side to that is, what if you're the person who's being exposed,
That's
who's
different.
being outed? What if you're the person whose privacy is being violated?
That's, I think, different from the question. I mean, I think, is that the same thing?
No, it's the same.
If it is, then that's bad, because
I mean, that's a part of it.
So if
right?
that's part of it, then I agree I think that's bad, right? Because that's more of a violation, not just like freely, like if I'm freely giving information out there, I expect people to know about it.
Yeah, no.
Versus someone going in doing an investigation, right? So
Right.
that is a very different thing, and then in that case, yeah.
Like what happened with, what's his name? Who's the actor that?
Which one?
the guy that was under this like years long investigation for like getting friendly with like young boys.
You're talking Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey, right? And then
Not just young boys, young girls.
and then he's acquitted.
He's
in
a
the
lech.
end. Well, he was acquitted. So this is my point exactly. So there's this years-long investigation, and in the end, he's acquitted. But we all have our opinions about him, whether he was
I don't wanna
acquitted or
know.
not.
He was a brilliant
Will he
actor.
ever work again?
I don't know.
He'll never work again.
No work again. Yeah.
He'll never work again. He was a brilliant actor.
So
Questionable morals.
would it have
Agreed.
been? But so is it? So are we better as a society having visibility to all that, or is it better if that stuff just happens behind the scenes and everybody doesn't know?
Well, those are crimes. So what he did was, well, he was acquitted, so I can't comment on that. But
But this is my point.
but that's a crime. That's not just like that's not like something that's it's a crime. So
No,
yeah, that
I
should be
understand.
exposed. Yes.
But this visibility to the whole thing as it goes shapes our perception. So if
Yeah.
I just told you the end story, if I just told you, hey, remember that guy Kevin Spacey? He was an actor. He, well, it turns out there was this whole investigation into him, but he was acquitted in the end. Then you would probably say, oh, well, okay, he was acquitted, so I guess he wasn't guilty. That'd probably be your reaction, right?
Yeah.
But because you got to be a spectator for the whole thing,
Well, he'll never work again.
now we have this opinion about him that's formed by having been a spectator to all the dirt as it was happening. It used to be we didn't have visibility to all of that, and so our opinions weren't shaped by it.
I still think it's except for like the invasion of privacy part, the the wrongful accusation part. I still think we're better off as a society knowing more about things than less about things.
That's
Reishin
not
says
the question.
better. Reishin says better. Yeah, that's basically the question, more or less.
Yeah.
Know everything about everyone.
Yeah, well,
Everyone.
it's shorthands. It's just shorthand.
Yeah.
It's shorthand.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I think we're not. I think we're not better off. But because I think it was better when you just heard about, you got what you got on the evening news, you got what you got in the daily newspaper, and you didn't have all of the stream of social media, because a lot of what you see is people drawing their own conclusions and then multiplying that in the echo chamber and things like this. So so I'm going to come down. Trevor, what do you say? Or Delfina didn't vote yet.
That's all right. Trevor can go first.
Trevor can go first.
Well, I say worse because there are like all those like anecdotal bits to it about you can commit these violations, or there are you can get a job this way, learn about a company. But I think at the macro, people are, myself included, are too concerned about other things and not concerned about themselves as much. And this is being able to know more about more people is a really effective distraction to your own self.
So when you say yourself, you're not talking about like being self-centered. You're talking about like making yourself better. Like
Your own
yourself.
just your own life.
Right. Like
whether
mind your own business kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, because it's really easy because now we can see, there are these people, there are these actors who are accused of doing these terrible things to kids.
Right.
Well, I'm not doing anything that bad, and I can keep feeding myself all these worse examples that make me look a lot better in my own eyes. So I think things that take away.
He's trying to be quiet.
I think things that take away people's attention from themselves is more often than not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Maybe I shouldn't have put the ice bucket on the same table that has the microphone stands.
It's okay.
Well, there's a microphone stand over there too. So can I top you off there?
Yes,
The
please.
scratchiest noise you could make. There's no way to do that silently. It's impossible.
Thank you, sir.
Need some more ice?
Yeah.
We might as
No,
well
I'm
just
good.
get it all out of the way now.
I'm good.
All right. So I get that. That's we end up we're so preoccupied with trying to make all these opinions about what everybody else is doing.
And I'm willing to bet, I can't say this for certain, but I'm willing to bet if you go and look at statistics of depression and suicide and all that, it's pretty commonplace that it's linked in some way to the advancement of social media technology.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it just plays too big of
Yeah.
a role, especially for young girls growing up.
The social media thing just becomes a whole,
Yeah, and social media is the communication point for
Right.
knowing things about people.
Okay.
So
We need one more.
I'm not going to have a very optimistic outlook in this episode on these topics.
on anything.
No, this is even.
Wait, we need one more. Oh, we got lemons. Because the worst is
Does
the worst
Delfina
is
say worse?
Absolutely, I say worse.
Delfina says worse. Yeah, we are now in lemon territory.
Because the simple thing is because information is going into the wrong hands. People will behave badly with information.
Yeah.
That's where I fall.
When I used to run a lot of like big consulting projects, I used to teach my teams that, we always want to do right by the client, but we don't need to give them things to have opinions about that they don't need to have opinions about. So if you give them certain information, you might think you're being helpful, but actually now you're just giving them something to have an opinion about, and that's not going to be helpful. So I never said that in front of the client, obviously. All right, what's the next one, Trev?
It is.
Coming. It's beaming down. Okay, so we now have, you could just use your map apps. The map app will take you anywhere. It finds you the fastest route, and you don't really have to know anything about how to get from here to the place that you're going. Better or worse?
Better. I love it.
Is it good?
Yeah. I know what the downsides are, but I do like it.
You like, yeah? It's a simple answer.
Well, back to
We're
that
making up
same-
time. What do
That
you
same
think?
grandfather that could whistle so loud that you could hear him from
Yeah.
miles away. I remember sitting down, and he would order the maps from Esso.
Oh, Esso.
Yep, and he would order the maps. from the United
Esso
States.
is in the United States was before Exxon.
Oh,
was
yes, that's
Esso.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I frowned. It's like, that name is so familiar.
Yeah, he'd order the
Esso.
Esso maps, and he had a map in
ESSO.
the basement of the house. He had a map of the United States, and he had mapped out the driving routes across the entire United States from state to state to state to state to state. And this was actually before I was born, right before I was born. He took his family on a tour around the United States. But I remember as a little girl sitting down and looking at those maps with him and mapping out how you would get from one place to the next.
So it's funny
Oh, I
because
love maps, but
because I have something very similar, maps on the wall in my house, and before I take a trip, what I do is I take a picture of them with my phone, and then never mind.
It's learning geography. It's learning-
So here's what happens. I've noticed with me, and we've all been around long enough to have been driving without even before printing out the MapQuest, right?
Yeah, way back. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
an actual map, a physical map.
Yeah. And what I find is, and this is not so much in Houston because I've been driving in Houston so long, I mean,
You can go blindfolded.
yeah, it's doesn't, but when I go somewhere
It is
else,
driving blindfolded.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
when I go somewhere else, what I find is because I'm relying on the maps, on the GPS, I don't form the mental map in my head of like where I am and where the things are. So it used to be that when I would go somewhere, go somewhere else or go somewhere that I wasn't familiar with, that initially I would look at the map, you'd look at the map, and then after a little while you have a picture in your head of where things are in relation to each other. And I don't do that anymore. So as a result, like when I go up to Ashburn to work with my clients up there in Virginia. So this is a fairly simple DC suburb with a couple of highways this way and some crossroads this way. And I'm like up there going, all right, now where's the office in relation to here? Because I don't form I don't have that kind of spatial
You can do
Thinking in
both,
my head
man.
anymore.
Like, I mean,
I can, but it takes discipline to do it because it makes us lazy. Because I can just watch the map. So now we don't really know where, or if you know how to get from this place to this place, this is another thing that happens. I know how to get from here to here, and I know how to get from here to here, but I don't know how to get from here to here because I don't have the whole. I haven't really, because even when you use the map on the app, it's not the same as using a map. Because when you use a big map, you visually see where things are in relation to each other. But when you use the map on the apps, unless you change the view, you're just getting this view, right?
yeah. So look, I set my map distance where I need to go to, and then I always scroll out to see where it is from where I am. So it's like, oh, actually, so it's that route and that route, and then most of the time I switch it off before I get there.
Okay, so raise your hand. Who here has yelled at the screen in their car going, I'm not going to go that way?
I have not, because my car is very sensitive and it does shut down.
He drives a Tesla. It's emotional.
It gets emotional every now and again. It shuts down if you don't listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the house. And what was that TV show? Eureka. All the
Eureka,
geniuses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The sheriff lived in that smart house with Sarah, the computer, and,
Never saw a show.
Great
she would,
show.
She would get her feelings hurt if
Yeah.
That's your car.
Okay, my car doesn't get its feelings hurt. But I scream at it all the time.
But
I'm
also,
not
like,
going that
it's
way.
an inanimate object, so yelling at it won't do anything.
It does.
That doesn't mean that I'm not going to yell. I'm still going to yell at it.
I still yell at the when you get to, like, you dial a number and you get the, press 3 for the tell me your name, and then give me your address, and you say it many times and you're yelling at it. And you ever get to like some call center and you have to, before you can get to the actual thing, you have to go through a whole like agent and customer support. You have to say
you end up with the same person, but they have much better metrics on you.
Yeah, because
So, I mean, really, it doesn't send you to a different group of people. They're just gathering analytics on what your call was about. So I'm gonna go. Even though it does bother me that I feel like I'm personally. I'm losing a skill that I had, which was to be able to, just have a mental. But
You don't
it sounds like a you problem.
but I can't say that it really is detrimental to society.
You don't have to use it.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yes, that's right.
It's not. I can't.
Yeah.
Of all the things that I think are making us dumber as a society, I don't think this one is very high on the list.
No.
So I'm going to say that we're better off just being able to figure out where we need to go and have something get us there.
Also, how long it might take.
And be able to get there faster, right? Yeah.
It's a matter of control, right?
You don't have to use it. Yeah.
You don't have to use it.
So finally, I pick a thing that maybe it might work out. I mean,
Yeah. What?
I'm no longer the minority.
Does Delfina say better?
I think it's better.
Wow.
If
Trevor?
I have control, it's all about control.
Nah, I gotta go. I'm going worse.
You gotta
You're
go
going
worse.
worse.
You gotta go worse, man. Yeah.
The youngest person in the group
It's all about control.
pissing on technology.
Well, I don't like. It's just another thing to dissociate us from what's around us and what's going on.
From the real world. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't. And yes, it is. Not to say I don't use it, but yeah, it does help in the city and such. But you can. That's part of your life. You can change it how you want. If you really don't like it that much. I don't like that it distances us from reality more. It's just another thing.
That's it.
Yeah, but you don't have to use it.
I'm getting one of those folding maps back in the
Oh, and that's the other thing. I'm not saying people shouldn't use it.
Oh, I love maps, man.
But it weakens us as a species,
That's it,
is
weakens
what you're
us.
saying.
That's it. You don't have to use it.
But we do use it, the point is. We don't have to use it, but we do use it.
I use it every now and again when I need to. Like, if I'm unsure of something, I use it. So, it helps me get to where I need to go.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
But everybody does. Like, nobody really knows. Like, if I gave somebody a map today, they wouldn't know how to use it most of the time. Remember the key maps? The orange book? All right. Where are we at? Okay, we're back out of lemon territory. Next one is we don't have to leave the house to shop.
Oh, my God. This is so easy. Better.
You think?
I love it. I buy everything online.
So you're one of those.
No, I hate to shop.
Yeah.
I hate to walk into a store, explain why I'm here.
Why? Why do you have to explain why you're there?
Well, because normally you have to greet someone and say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm looking for.
You don't have to talk to
I'm
them.
looking for like a 2x4.
You don't have to use your map. You don't have to talk to them.
I don't have to. Yeah, it's like it's like no, I don't want. I just want to say I'm here to buy a 2x4.
But you can just say thank you. I'm fine.
Also, it just saves me time. Yeah, if I can buy everything online, I would.
Does it? I don't know. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever not leave the house to shop for everything, but there's certain things it's not a matter of leaving the house, it's a matter of speed and convenience.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of leaving the house.
So I don't think that it's bad that we can buy. I think being able to buy certain things online is very useful. But
Now that they fixed the return, Paul, like the returns, like in the past, like you buy stuff online, it was a mission to get rid of it. Like you'd have to take it back to a store or take it back to some outlet.
Right.
Now you could just like drop it at.
you mean there are places that you can buy online that's not Amazon?
Yeah, there's loads of places, but even so, all of them you can just like return very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
and,
creative.
and they're very flexible with what you return, how you return.
Very
yeah.
creative.
Although I hear that I read recently that they're going to be reversing some of that ease of return because
People are abusing it.
because everybody's like, well, I don't know what size I wear, so I'm going to order 5 of them, and then
Yeah. There's some things around that. Yeah.
The whole returns
Yeah.
issue is a whole separate subject for operations inside of organizations, and there's a number of different ways to solve it, but it has become
But as
a whole area.
as
we
a
could have
consumer, I love it.
yeah.
So here's why I think we're worse off as a society from this.
Okay.
Number one, I think it drives consumerism, which means being as a society, as people, just being preoccupied with buying and using things. So
That's a good thing, though.
Isn't that like the core of like economics, of retail economics? Us buying things.
You're just mad, dude, because your wife's buying too much shit online. Just be
How
honest.
do I control that credit card? It's like, I wish we banned shopping. Like shopping in general.
no more shopping. No, I think that. So if I think about it purely from a societal. Strong society, weak society. I think that it drives a materialistic sort of life is all about acquiring things and buying things, and it's too easy. So I also think it promotes financial irresponsibility, and we already have a problem in this country, especially with people living beyond their means and people being and this actually dovetails with the social media thing, which is not what we covered, but we talked about influencers, right? So the influencers are influencing people to buy shit that they don't really need, but everybody's buying it because all you got to do is go on Amazon or whatever else, and you can buy it. And now, I don't think that's. I think it was better for society to where you had to like get off your ass, go to the store, look at stuff. Make a decision about what. It's the same thing as much as I love to get credit card points, but people make smarter decisions, typically buying decisions when they use cash than when they use credit cards. So I'm not, and I buy a lot of stuff online, but as a society, I don't know if we're better off.
Dude, you're not one of those little old men or little old ladies.
What do you mean by little?
Are you one of those little old ladies that stands in line at any outlet and are paying with cash, and you're pulling the pennies out of the bottom of your purse?
Right? You're that person at HEB where I'm basically I need to get out of the store, and there's someone saying, "Hold on a second," and you start counting the dollar bills.
And finding wait, I've got a penny. I've got a penny.
And you have the cash because there's a whole stack of it. So it's not like you don't have the money. It's just that you want to pay.
We have minors in the audience today, which is the only thing that's stopping me from saying, what I actually want to say right now.
But that being said, I do agree that, the online shopping has destroyed like local businesses and
there's that part too.
Yeah, that part, right? Which is,
That's true.
But that being said, I will challenge you by saying that I don't think buying online necessarily makes it more consumerist versus you going into a store, into like a department store, and suddenly oh my God, I love that, I love this, and then end up buying random stuff because you're physically seeing it.
That's a fair
Like that like I've seen people actually walk
That's
around,
a fair
I don't need this, but it's the reason why there's in every cash out point there's always like random stuff at like that you see, right? Because it's there to encourage this kind of consumerism, right? So you end up picking stuff you don't need because you're walking past and see, I'm physically right here.
Yeah, there's a whole science that goes into what they put on which shelves and how they display things.
So like I think you can you can challenge it back and forth, right? As to,
but it's a lot easier
online. You buy specifically what you want,
but it's a lot easier when you're at home and you go like, I have this like notion that says I'd like to have like a new whatever thing, and all I have to do is go beep boop boop, and then I have it.
Show up,
right? As opposed to putting on a list of things. I have noticed this. There have been a number of things. I've tried to do this in the last year or so, where when I think about something that I want or need, instead of just buying it, I put it on a list of like shit to buy later. And most of the time later, I decide that I didn't really need that thing, or that there's something else that I want to get instead. So instead of spending $25 on that, I'm going to do this. But the impulse buying, I think, it makes the impulse buying a lot easier.
And to kind of counter or to offer another perspective to what Reishin just said, you could argue the other way.
Reishin.
Reishin. You could argue that, you could argue that the other way. You could say that somebody sees something online that they think they would like to have because they don't know what it's like to have it or to have it in their hands, so they buy it to then have it in their hands and see what it's like.
Yep.
Or they go to the store and they go and see it and they're holding it, they're looking at it, they go, oh, okay, actually this isn't all that I thought it was meant to be. So
better. Yeah.
But actually, it comes down to being a consumer, right? Which one is cheaper, buying online or buying in the store?
I don't know. Is it cheaper on the
Yeah, it's cheaper in the store. So, for example,
cheaper in the store.
One of the things that I use the online applications for grocery shopping is I shop at either Randall's, H-E-B, or Kroger.
Randall's is still a thing?
Yeah,
Yes,
they have great stuff.
They have great stuff. And
It was my first high school
I don't
job.
go there very much, but they do have great stuff.
My
there's one
first
right by
high
my
school
house.
job
Yeah.
was at
I can
Randall's.
walk to Randall's from my
It's
house.
where it spoke to me. Yeah,
There's very few of them left.
yeah.
Well,
There's very few of them. Yeah,
Really?
Kroger and H-E-B. H-E-B has taken over most of it. Yeah.
But anyway, what I'll do is, for example, this week, is I go through and I see what is available. And Randall's right now today has chicken breasts on sale for $1.49 a pound. Score! $1.49 a pound. I'm going to Randall's to buy my chicken. So I check that against H-E-B and I check that against
What
Kroger.
kind of chicken are you buying? Like a whole chicken?
Chicken breast.
I'm skeptical.
Boneless, skinless chicken breast.
I'm skeptical of any sort of chicken that they can sell for $1.49.
Well, that's a different story. But yeah,
Because
Makes
they
me worry
have
about the
too
chicken.
much
Because they got too much they need to get off the
it's
shelf, yeah.
Randall's.
Are these
they
those
get
chickens that have 6
sued,
wings?
Yeah. Who
I
cares?
mean,
if they have
like,
6 wings? I'm just buying the breast.
It's the breast. You don't see the wings. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, it's don't ask, don't tell.
whoever argued against having more breasts?
It does,
Yeah, well,
nobody.
Nobody.
But here's the thing: you can compare shop. You can use the applications to see where there's good deals on stuff, and then you go and use that information. You
That's
can do
fair.
research.
Yeah, okay.
And then you actually, I am not going to order it online, but I will tell you this: in that process, and during the pandemic, when I was ordering things online for curbside pickup at H-E-B, that's where I did my curbside pickup. I noticed that the prices for curbside pickup were more expensive by pennies than if you went into the store and bought them.
It's a numbers game.
it's-
Yeah.
And it makes all the sense in the world because they've got to cover the costs of
So
somebody
you did the
going and
curbside during the past. So
I didn't.
that was the perfect time to go in the store because
Yeah, there was no one in there, yeah.
it was great.
Except like someone like dressed like in the full hazmat suit. There's always like someone
Or with the gloves.
The gloves and
right?
I
Yeah.
used it.
Yeah.
I got COVID,
Oh yeah.
so I was not going to go infect other people in the
No.
store. So I did curbside
You
pickup.
should have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but right.
Retrospect. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's
so
fair. That's fair.
And I would just pop the trunk of the car and they'd put it in there so they didn't have to come in contact with me. But I did learn at that point in time that curbside pickup, you are paying a few pennies more
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. They have
Hey,
to
you
go do
for-
the work for
that's
you.
the same
Same thing
with
with DoorDash.
the same with DoorDash,
yeah.
which is quite expensive. I
Actually,
think.
DoorDash, they add quite a bit to the menu.
Yeah, they had quite a bit, and so is
And
like
here's-
Uber Eats and that kind of stuff. Uber, yeah.
That's actually another huge benefit for my child who's in college, that she can, when she's intense studying, all she has, if she's hungry or whatever, she just boom, 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 Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever she needs. They just bring it. She
Yeah.
runs downstairs, she picks it up, and she's back in her dorm room. Not
I mean, look, man, like
Back in my day,
Yeah.
all your choices were pizza or
pizza.
pizza.
No,
like with all these
Everything
things,
you want.
it's options, right?
Yeah.
You can go out and you don't have to. You have to study.
Yeah.
You only have like a half-hour break, right? You could use to like take a physical break, or you could actually take the break and then also order food.
And to get the food, yeah.
Get the food, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's brilliant.
It's all there, right? Yeah.
Did we get a verdict on this one?
Yeah, no, you haven't voted yet.
Man, Michael, you have to vote.
What are you
Michael.
saying, Dan?
I think.
Come on, don't be that guy.
Well, the statement, we don't have to leave the house to shop. So that's not saying that we
a
can't
great
buy
thing.
some things online. But the fact is, you can shop without ever leaving the house.
Some people do.
And I think we're not better off for having that. I think I'm going to say worse. We're worse off. I think it goes back to Trevor's point about all these things that continue to make it easier for us to disassociate from social.
This is too even. So the last question has to like split.
All right,
this.
what's
Yeah,
the-
come
what's-
on. Last question's got to
we
break
don't
the
have
tie.
lemons or cherries. We're
Break the tie. Let's go.
dating
Oh
apps.
my God.
Dating apps
Sorry,
to find
I'm
the right
too old
match.
for this.
So you two are looking at me like, but what I have noticed, and none of us.
I've used one
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Does your wife know?
before I met my wife.
Oh. No, have you?
How long have you been married? Do they exist back? Like
Yeah, they've been around for like a long time.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have been around for a long time,
Like
but
how long?
20 years.
20 years or more.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't an app originally.
it was like a website, but
was a
basically, yeah,
website.
he means
They were
like yeah,
dating websites.
Yeah, they're
They weren't
websites, so
apps,
like
'cause the-
Match.com,
the
and
iPhone
there was all
didn't
sorts
come
of
along
things.
until
There.
95.
95.
Oh my god, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
1990.
Yeah, Match.com,
before
yeah.
my
Yeah,
child was born. Okay.
But those were not the kind of people that
Launched
you wanted to know.
Match.com.
Match.com, speed
Match.com.
dating, that kind of
in
stuff. Yeah,
1995. Wow.
I was living in Oxford actually.
I was married.
so it was a very strange time to like.
So what came as a surprise to me in the last year or so is, or what I began to realize in talking with, and I have a friend, Speedy Garcia, who is like my age. No, not Speedy, Zippy. Zippy Garcia.
Speedy Gonzalez. Dude.
Speedy
Come
Gonzalez,
on.
Zippy Garcia. Well, I get them mixed up.
They have a lot of similarities.
Zippy Garcia. So, and he's early 50s and divorced, a few years ago, and we're hanging out, and he's telling me about these women that he's met, and I'm looking, I'm like, the dating apps, really? Like, you're from my generation. And he's explaining to me that no, like, this is how it's done now. Like, there isn't, like, this is how everybody does it now. And so I didn't accept that at first, and I've asked some other people, and the conclusion that I've come to is, so we're, the three of us are all well, no, we're married. You're not married, but I don't know if you're looking or not, but
No.
but the look on your face tells me
There's
you
some
haven't
apps
been
out
to the
there you
dating.
can try. Yeah.
Yeah. So online
Absolutely
dating
not.
service users in the United States as of September 23 by age group, 30 to 49, the biggest chunk, people 30 to 49.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
so this is how it's done. And it's really convenient. You can go in and they've really improved the algorithms since the Match.com days, and put in a lot of nice features to kind of help you figure out. This is it. This is how you do it now.
Okay. I'm sure that there are people who like that.
Apparently, well, there's a lot.
There's a lot of people. Okay, but
Oh.
13% in the 50 to 64 range.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
That would be me.
yeah. Me too.
Ain't happening.
Me too.
So that's good news because that means there's a small percentage of competition.
but if you are,
What do you mean a small? What do you?
Well, because like it's competition, right? So like in that 61%, there's competition, for your potential suitor out there. You
Yeah, but
compete.
no, so-
in that 30%, you're going to get a small demographic of people that you're looking for, but also competition.
Yeah, but hold up. Women don't.
Don't compete.
so all right. So here's the whole premise. So I have talked to some people, and here's the idea. The idea is, and so if you notice, what we put on the question was to find the perfect match, right? To find the right match.
Okay, what was the question? Trev, put up the question again.
He's
Dating apps to find the right match.
So the whole idea is
hell
No
no.
idea. Yeah.
Hell no.
You can find the right person by, all these criteria, and you put in exactly the height and the width and the length that you want, and
I think it makes it better.
it makes it better.
Yeah, the reason is because if you look at the stats that Trevor put up, the group that's looking for it was it 31 to what's the numbers?
Well,
Yeah.
this is
So-
percentage of users, so it's not percentage of
No,
people.
it's the age group, right?
It's but
Look at the age group, right?
Of users,
Of users,
of
right?
users, right?
So that means that group has done the dating scene, they've done the clubbing scene, they've done clubs, they've done all the kind of like
Not
in-person
necessarily.
things.
It could be people who don't think that there's any success
Yeah.
there, or that.
But look at that number, 61%. That's the highest group, which means that's usually they find that maybe the apps are more successful. Hence they're trying it. If it was unsuccessful, people will by reputation.
You're saying the fact that they're using it means that it must be.
it must be by reputation.
Well, this is just a demographic breakdown of users of the apps. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't
I mean, look,
think.
it's just a mechanism, right?
Can I
Because,
say- I'm going to say something really controversial.
no.
Please, I've been waiting.
Really controversial.
Yes.
I would pose
Whoa, 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 whoa.
that
With clothes or without clothes?
Well, that's that 13%.
with clothes. With clothes.
I would pose.
Yeah, not at this age. I'm not going to be clothesless.
Hey, there was that movie about the girls with the calendar, the women with the calendar.
Calendar. Yeah, no.
Calendar girls.
No,
No.
calendar girls. Yes,
Calendar
the old
girls.
ladies. The old ladies. It was like Helen Mirren.
Yeah, set in England, right? Yeah. It
We're
was
going
like
to need
yeah.
considerably bigger bodies.
Okay. Yeah. No. At this age, I'm covered 100%. So, I would say, and I'm sitting in a room with 3.5 men. We have a young
have a half.
gentleman.
We have a half.
We have a half man that is joined us today.
He's got a cool hat.
He's a very cool hat, and he's the cutest thing. Oh my gosh. That
Wife's side. Don't get excited.
the men in that 30 to 49 age rate in the 61%
Yeah.
are not using this dating app to find, as the question posed, the perfect mate. They are using it more to find a temporary mate or the perfect mate for tonight.
Now we get to the heart of the matter. So here's.
Well,
It's funny you say that because
maybe like just a few hours.
Okay.
like that motel,
Perfect mate
5
for
minutes.
like
a
that
few minutes.
motel
For
on
good-
I-45 where you can.
All right, you
$16
just
an hour.
expose yourself, Trevor. 5 minutes. All right, dude.
Trevor exposed
Hey,
himself.
let's be careful talking about the guy off
This is
camera
not that kind of
exposing
show.
himself.
It could
So-
be.
Trevor's the one bringing up the 5 minutes, man, not me.
so
But that being said, yeah, I mean, like, yeah. What do they use it for?
this is a fascinating thing that I learned from is as I talked to a couple of different guys in this regard. I'm saying a couple of different guys just so that nobody thinks that it's Zippy because maybe it was him. And
We gotta look. I gotta meet this Zippy.
Zippy. And as he's telling me about these dates that he's had and the way he's describing it, it becomes apparent to me that what he's really describing is convenience. Is I don't have to go to the trouble to go to the bar and catch a woman's eye and find a way to strike up a conversation and not make an idiot out of myself. And I don't have to go out somewhere and like bait the hook and do the work to reel in the fish. I can just go beep, boop, 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 and find somebody who wants to go on a date. And now we're on a date. So it cuts out.
So Zippy Garcia?
so
I mean, yeah.
it cuts out all the work, all that social interaction, all that effort. And, what was the movie with
Which one?
with Hitch, right? Hitch.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes. With
Where he's
Hey.
Kevin, was it Kevin James and Will Smith?
And Will Smith. And he's like teaching guys how to you gotta like and it's not
Work it.
disingenuous, right? It's like, you have to learn how to have a conversation, you have to learn how to look somebody in the eyes, you have to learn how to have presence, you have to no, you don't have to do any of that shit. All you have to do is go boop, 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 and find a woman who wants to go on a date with you. And the next thing you know, you're meeting at the Chick-fil-A parking lot and deciding where you want to go from there. That's it.
Okay, if you were meeting me at the Chick-fil-A parking lot,
It's just a meeting spot. We're not eating at Chick-fil-A.
That's worse. That's way worse. That's way, if you're not even going into like the Chick-fil-A, that's way worse. How is that better?
It's not better.
okay.
Yeah.
It's way worse, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the.
I'm spilling tequila on myself now.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
so upset by this conversation.
so I think we're all gonna agree that. But here's the.
So I have no skin in this game except to say that, I mean, maybe it makes it better for like Zippy and friends.
Yeah, I've got no. Me neither. I've got no skin in this game.
But if Zippy is happy, then I guess Zippy it is.
the thing that's wild to me is it appears that this is just how it's done now.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I think it's so wrong.
Do you?
I really do.
Because I do too. Just so you know.
It's just so wrong.
I don't. I think it's fine.
But you're kind of weird and antisocial.
It's a mechanism for like communication, man. That's all it is. Yeah.
Well,
Like back in the day, I went out to see Moody Gardens once, right? And you see these fancy homes.
once
out
is
there.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's wrong
once
with
enough.
Moody Gardens?
Well, it's once is enough. Yeah.
My
Why would
daughter's
you go
friend is one
twice?
of the Moody's.
Wow.
So I went to the Moody house, and I figured out like, oh yeah, and it's like they have this like
Twitty.
place where you like
to Memorial.
would
Come
present
on, man.
a gentleman caller would present a card, and then like days later, if it kind of matched out, they'll invite them into like one room.
Yeah.
And then like if it progressed into the next room and the next room, right? So there's a sitting room at the very beginning that
Yeah.
you'd meet a gentleman caller and you move on. It's like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
So basically that's all it is. That's the sitting room right there. That's all it is. That's all the dating app is basically the sitting room right there, where you meet the gentleman caller and you meet someone you'll try and figure out whether there's a match or not or an initial connection. If not, they don't get to move into the next rooms.
So yeah. So you're just accelerating you're making the
it's just-
initial
Yeah.
contact more efficient.
Well, also because none of us live in the Moody homes, so we can't afford like sitting rooms specially designed for like dating.
Yeah. And if you invited a girl to the
sitting room, yeah.
that would probably
Well, she'd have to come by and
a little
present
weird.
her business card to you.
Yeah.
And then like someone in your family would have to
Calling
her
card.
calling card, yes.
Calling card.
Would have to then establish whether she was a good suitor or not.
Yeah.
And then invite her back. So yes.
something to be said for that method.
Well, I'm going to say that I don't think it works as much as it used to back. Mostly because I don't have a sitting room
Yeah. Or a calling card.
or a calling card. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think it's bad?
I don't think that so there's no option on this to abstain from voting.
No.
So I'm going to think that it's worse because I think for girls,
Yeah.
so I'm speaking for very, very much from the feminine perspective. I think from girls it's dangerous. I think that girls and boys are looking for vastly different things.
No, false.
Oh, argue with me, Trevor.
I'm staying out of this one.
Argue with me, Trevor. Let's go.
False.
Why is it false?
Because hoe is a feminine word. And they are out there and they're
Staying out of this one.
and feminism
Like, yeah.
has degraded women to dirt and to things and to objects that seek satisfaction.
Absolutely not. I will tell you, and we're going to argue. We're going to get this fight here.
But that should be an entire podcast by itself.
It
Right
should.
there. It should, yeah.
It should. So
It should, yes.
I will tell you this.
Because I don't agree with Trevor on this one.
You do or you don't?
No, I don't.
You don't. But maybe we should do this one. But I will tell you, my daughter's friends from freshman year, she's a senior now. From freshman year, she was horrified by the young girls that would readily bed any young man and view it as some sort of, oh, well, we're just hooking up.
When I was in high school.
The truth of the matter is that they were all looking for finding a boyfriend. And they just said, oh, we're just hooking up. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. We have a half man in the room, and I
he knew what he was
didn't
getting.
mean
The half man.
Hey, I know these
to-
words.
He listens to you, right?
He listens.
That's right. You,
Trevor's like,
Trev.
I know
Come
these
on,
words.
Trev. We love you, Trev.
So yeah, that might have to be one on its own.
That's an-
we're already.
I think that's a fight right there.
We're an hour
fight.
in,
It's a
and
fight.
we're an hour in.
How do we all feel about women voting?
yeah.
Are we all on board with that?
Freaking
voting?
suffragettes.
I would fight Trevor on this one too. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna come back for round two.
I
on
do
that.
like Trevor, but I would fight him.
All right, I'm gonna bring up. Here's what I think is. I have two problems with the notion that you can. So I'm with you on the idea that this is a mechanism by which two people can.
It's just a sitting room, man. That's all.
However, if you look at how people actually use them, and the way they're designed, the sitting room was just two people that, for whatever reason, somebody thought this girl is going to meet this guy, and bada boom, bada bing. But if you look at the dating apps, so you're basically doing parameter selection, right? Kind of like,
Yeah.
and I can't take credit for this because it was actually the Mrs. O'Sullivan that made this observation. We were talking about it one day, and she said, well, if the whole idea behind good relationships is that, not just opposites attract, but the idea that people with different qualities, balance each other. So if you're very much this way and your wife or your husband's very much that way, and it kind of balances out, especially as you get into, your relationship and parenting. Well, in a dating app, people are going to be picking the things that are most like themselves. And then you're going to end up with people who are not the best match for you, but are the best, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at here?
The best match, the best what?
The best. You're going to get somebody who's you.
The most similar to you.
The most similar to you. And instead of somebody and good when you talk to people who, especially like people who've been married for many years, very rarely are they cut from the same cloth. They're usually very different and
A little overlap.
and a little overlap. And sure, those differences probably were some bumpy spots along the way and things they had to work out, but the balancing, right? So a really simplistic example is one parent is very lenient with the kids, the other parent is very, right? And that's parenting, so it's not really necessarily strictly relationship. But the point is that the whole reason opposites attract is because in nature you end up with a good relationship of people who aren't exactly like each other but balance each other out. And so if I'm using the dating app to pick somebody who's like me, I'm actually not going to get.
Also, I would add on to that, since it's something you're setting the parameters, and even if you're smarter than everybody else and you are picking traits that you deem would be
I'm not.
complementary to you, even though they're opposites, you have to be confident in that you know what's best for you and you know who you are best for.
Right.
Because you're not just picking someone for yourself, you're picking someone who you are for. So do you know yourself well enough? Are you honest enough with yourself?
No one is
Do you
honest.
know what's best for you and what's best for somebody else?
No one is honest in the online profile. Even so, the online profile the dating app will only get you so far. At some point, you're going to meet this person in the real world, and they'll figure it out pretty quickly.
No, but what he's saying is not are you misrepresenting yourself, but are you being honest about
No, you're not.
who you are to yourself?
No,
Well, no, not
No one
even
is.
not even the honest part. Because maybe you are honest. Let's say you are, but do you have the wherewithal to understand yourself enough and understand the sort of person
Yeah.
who you are good for.
Yeah.
And I don't
So the
think
so
anyone
the
is.
two.
I don't think
options are-
anyone is that smart because you have to be
Well,
honest. Back to the honesty, you have to be honest with your own shortcomings and your
not that you're
vulnerabilities,
not
and
that-
you have to be honest with open to what sort of shortcomings another person may have and how that's going to affect your own shortcomings and your strengths and where they fit there. It's too intricate and complex for anybody to put a number on.
but it goes back to what Delfina said. Why are people on the app? What do they want from it?
It's
They
easy.
want to hook up.
They want to.
Well, some do.
Some do. Some do.
Some, I mean, like I'll challenge it and say, like,
Some do.
not all dudes are
Not all
looking for, not all men are looking for hookups. Some men
No,
are
some are looking for relationships.
legitimate
Yeah,
relationships,
they're
and
lonely.
some
They
women are
wanna-
looking for hookups, and some are looking for legitimate. I mean, it's a balance. It's a
I think
complete
if I
balance
were to-
thing. Where, yeah,
If I were to do it today. Oh, and by the way, those words of relationship insight. Little sidebar. Our noble producer Trevor has recently gotten engaged
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Congratulations,
are
buddy.
you old
To a
enough
woman.
to a woman.
Are you old enough? How? What?
I'm 24.
Oh gosh, no. We need to have a talk, young man.
Is that's? I mean, 24, that's legal to get
It's
married.
legal, but oh my God, we need
Is
to have
24
a
legal to
talk,
get married in the
Trevor.
state of Texas?
People have been getting married young that age.
Trevor, no,
since
you and I
their
need to
life.
have a talk. Oh no, no,
Hey,
no.
who's
Did you grow that beard because you're getting married?
which set of legs did I fall out of? Okay, I don't
Yeah,
think
no,
that's
no.
that's not your territory
Wow.
to be giving
Okay,
me that comment.
Trevor, no, 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 no.
Moving right along. So, what was I gonna say?
Reishin was making the point
Yeah.
about
That it depends on what you want from the app.
what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a filtering. It's
You
it's a
just-
virtual. It's a
If
virtual
I were
signal.
gonna do this, so
Yes, that's
if I-
what you were saying.
If I were gonna do this,
Would you?
so it's hard. I've been married
You
for
can't.
36
You can't.
years. So
You can't
But if I were all of a sudden found myself needing,
Yeah.
to,
Let's say all of us did, right?
you're right. So I think that I would feel more confident leaving it up to natural forces. Just, rather than trying to be smart and objective enough to sort of figure out the formula, I think I would just go out there and figure it out.
No, man.
Okay,
Start
I'm
spinning, see where
gonna
it fits.
steal your line from the movie Hitch, right?
go right ahead, and then I'm going to
wasn't
I'm
about
right on top of
it
you.
wasn't about teaching men how to speak. It was about creating opportunity. So that's what people struggle with: is opportunity. It's the opportunity to meet people.
Okay, good point.
That's all it is.
Good point.
All these apps
Good
are
point.
an opportunity to meet people. Like the problem is, it's the opportunity to meet people because our lives are so
That's
busy.
a good point.
So
That's
I'm
all it
with
is.
you on that, but I think that's not how people view it. That's not how
it's-
they.
I agree.
It's just
not
how
But he's
yeah.
making a good point. That's
That
not how
is a really
people
good
view
point.
it.
It's just
That is a
opportunity.
But that's
yeah.
a good point.
But right. But people aren't. I think because the app designers have created all of
Like where would you meet? Another
it
partner?
creates the perception. It gives people the notion that if I just work the app right, I'll get the right
No,
person.
No,
like, I mean, like
absolutely not.
Where would you meet another partner? Like you have to go out
Reishin's
somewhere.
taking the same
You gotta,
point.
yeah.
It's
well,
the opportunity.
well, unlike some of you, I'm not afraid to leave the house.
Yeah, but you have to go out. Like where would you go and meet
Order
someone?
my groceries at home.
But at the HEB, it's like, hey, I'm here all day.
Hey, you know what?
Okay, wait a minute.
I bet you could meet some interesting people at
Let me tell you what.
I mean, you could.
I have been hit on in grocery stores, at the Office Depot.
A lot of
in
blind
parking
people
lots.
around.
Is it still
kind of
Is
it's
it-
kind of hard when you don't wear a wedding ring. And I put a wedding ring on when I need to fend people.
I've never been here
However,
on Office Depot.
I didn't know. Are they still
Lord
around?
have
Office Depot?
mercy.
Yeah, they are. I've been there like last month.
It's not easy.
Just
it's
to
not easy.
check it out.
Okay, here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line for all this. To find the perfect match, you need the perfect match has desirability and compatibility.
Yeah,
You must desire that person
yeah.
and you must be compatible with that person. What the dating app provides you with is the opportunity to get through some categories of what you would think would be compatible. It gives you certain criteria around desirability. So if you're like myself, I like tall, I like blonde, I like blue eyes, right? So sorry, dudes. Sorry.
We're all out of.
You're out.
We've
You guys
already
are-
been selected out. We're
But
not.
if that's important, that's what I.
Lifts, contacts, and hair plugs. I'm in the game.
There you
all
go.
you need.
There you go. There you go.
The technology
But-
speaks. Yes.
But if
Here's all I
so,
gotta do.
it allows you to do some filtering. To Ration's point, it gives you opportunity.
That's all it is.
But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
To Michael's point, the thing that clinches it all is chemistry. There is an undeniable chemical, biological, chemical, I don't know what it is, pheromones that attract two human beings together that wipe everything else out.
Yeah. It's true.
And unless you have, to Ration's point,
Casablanca. Affair to remember.
unless you have the opportunity,
African Queen.
Sort
of.
Keep
Sort
naming all the Humphrey Bogart movies,
No, there
dude.
was only two Humphrey Bogarts. One was Cary Grant. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That was
But,
Cary Grant.
yeah.
But unless you have the opportunity to see whether or not that chemical reaction occurs,
It's never going to happen.
it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what
Okay.
it boils down to.
Yeah, you could be like the most awesome Zippy Garcia who was like hanging around HEB and like it's not happening.
He has a great story that he told me, but we don't have time for it, so we're gonna have to save it. for
Like,
that.
literally
so we
the best
tied. We actually tied. No cherries, no lemons.
Say worse.
Well, you haven't finished yet.
Oh, we didn't finish.
Michael, you're
Oh.
better or worse?
we're worse. We're worse off.
Trevor is worse.
Trevor's worse.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
Oh, lemons. Well, once again, we prove that society
I would like to
is in decline.
What's that,
a
Trevor?
question to wrap up
Go for it.
on the dating app subject.
Aren't you engaged?
Huh?
How does the dating game?
Wait.
Yes.
Dun-dun-dun.
On the subject of dating apps, do you think there is a limit or certain parameters that should not be allowed to be inputted, or do you think it should
No
be
idea. I've never
what?
been
Give me
on
an example.
free range?
Like what? Like what, Trevor?
Like
Give me an example.
Race,
girth?
girth.
Yes. No, I think that everything's. You cannot tell me what I'm attracted to. and what I'm not attracted
Disabilities.
to. You have, as a woman, I know exactly what I'm attracted to and exactly what turns me the heck off.
That'll be us.
Yes, that's
No,
us.
no, come on, guys.
Well, we're the
Well, it's the
opposite.
blonde hair, the height, and the hair.
Short, dark.
Yeah,
hair.
short hair.
Come on. There are certain.
So basically,
things
all Italians
that
are
make me want to puke.
So, but like,
They don't make me wanna-
should you have infinite parameters, or are there certain things that you shouldn't have a preference on?
You should
No.
absolutely. You should have a preference. You're talking about
Preference.
spending your life with somebody. You're supposed to
Preference.
about living.
So
with
can I go in and say no Jewish people?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if you
Because
want
as a-
to.
If you are a religious person and your religion is extremely important to you,
Then you wouldn't want to.
then
Yeah.
you don't want to have the fight, the battle. Not that I have very, very close Jewish friends. I ain't marrying no Jewish person.
But what if you said any other religion is okay, just not Jewish people?
No, that wouldn't. So that wouldn't be. That's not. That's not what I would.
But what if you have all the religions, and you just go and mark all of them okay except for Jewish?
That's why. Yeah, that's why.
Judaism.
It's no, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. What if? So what if you have a young woman?
What are you getting at?
was-
What do you want to say?
Yeah. What do you want to say? What do
Because
you
I know what you're getting at.
No, this is. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
He's just,
You should.
You can go.
He's just stirring up.
you-
shit.
You're stirring up stuff, and the answer is
What if I just want?
you can't be
paraplegics?
forced to date someone you don't want to date for your religious
Exactly.
beliefs. That's it. You could be
What if,
Jewish,
like-
you could
what
be
if,
Muslim,
like,
you could be Hindu, you could be Christian, you could
Doesn't
be
matter.
But
you could be
It's an interesting
Zoroastrian.
point because there's a lot of people today in the public square, as it were, that would condemn you for being not.
I would
They call
I would
you-
challenge
they
that.
would call you
Condemn me.
No,
anti-Semite. They would
that
call
is-
you
that is not-
Islamophobe. They
that
would
is
call
not
you
anti-Semitic
whatever.
if you don't, because
Of
of your
course
religion. It's not.
But the point is that in society
Condemn me.
today, we have
Okay,
people.
firstly, society are idiots, right?
Condemn
and
me.
like social media is a hodgepodge of like the worst parts of ourselves, but escalated and magnified.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It doesn't represent us in a heartbeat.
You can dumb me all you want. You ain't gonna make me date, marry, do anything with anybody that I don't
See
want
what you
to.
did?
So then, what
See
about?
what you
It's
did?
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. You see the Texans coming out there.
There you go.
What if?
Yeah.
Bring it.
What if
Bring
like?
it, yeah.
What if like we wanted to put
Everyone.
What if we wanted to put like cup sizes? Like, is that acceptable?
All right, I'm a D.
I mean, that's a different website. So like, there's different. I would suspect there's different apps for exactly what you're looking for out there. So go and find that app, and you find.
No, but seriously, I think Trevor's bringing up a really good point. If I am an A cup, and you want,
I'm a Stanley Cup.
Why am I?
you're a
Why am I
Stanley
in
cup,
this?
and you want, if
conversation?
you like big boobs,
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? If you like big boobs, what's wrong with that? It's what you are attracted to.
It's a fair point.
We ended 10 minutes ago, didn't we?
What is wrong with that? Who am I to tell you that you need to like big boobs?
Nothing. Like again, it's firstly, it's different apps for different things. It's different apps for different things. So like,
What if I
whatever
said-
you like?
what if I
it's in
said
the- there's-
So
there's
we
an app
need
out
like
for you.
we need like the
You said what?
master
fat
app.
girls.
No fat
girls.
If you don't like hefty girls, what is wrong with that?
I'm with you, but
There are
There's-
plenty of men who like big butts, and I cannot lie.
There's different. There's
Seriously?
different. There's different sites for everyone, man.
we gotta wind this down.
What's the? I mean,
I'm with you. But the point is that in society now, especially the younger people are being kind of programmed into this notion that if you're if you're not openly accepting of and embracing,
And the big thing
of
right now
everything,
is
then-
men aren't supposed to have a preference on women, but especially like when it comes to size, but women can. It's perfectly
No, no.
acceptable.
No, no, no,
Just the-
that is.
masculinity.
you're attracted to what you're attracted to.
No.
Period. The end.
I'm not saying.
Can we do an
should be
episode
dead.
on toxic masculinity?
He's,
Because
he's,
that's-
he's,
yes.
he's staring for the. He's staring for the.
That's
audience.
that's how it is. As someone who is that age,
I mean, what's that pot? Because like
That's
he
how
needs
it
a
is.
pot.
he's like,
yeah, he's like, yeah, he's working. He's stirring up.
man.
Yeah,
He's stirring it up.
he's
All right,
stirring up. Yeah.
we're coming back.
And I'd love to have that fight, but not today.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Next
We'll do the
episode.
feminists and toxic masculinity next time.
Next episode.